You know what's crazy? You gotta be crazy. And what I mean by crazy, I don't mean like scary, lunatic, psychotic. No. What I mean is you gotta be able to see how far and how stretched out the possibilities of you making it may be. But you gotta be crazy enough to still recognize that even there's a thin strand of possibility, there's still a fucking possibility for you to make it. And you take the step on that first very, very thin but possible, very shaky road. And you say, yeah, I'm fucking going for it. And in those first steps, shit starts to look real crazy. You start leaving people and cutting people off, and you start not giving a fuck. Ooh. You just start saying, hey man, you're not good for me, I gotta get. And you wish people well, and you wish them the most abundant of blessings in life. You do not hate on nobody. You know? Sure. Call a dumb motherfucker for what they are. Goddamn dumbass. God dang. Forgive me, Lord, but man, what a fool, or you know, lost, or how lost that person may be, or whatever, you know. So what I'm trying to say is talk a little shit, but at the end of the day, wish them well, you know what I mean? Because we're not here on this earth to just make it. We're here on this earth to love and grow and all this other, you know, good shit too, right? Not to be hating on each other. So, you know, you be up on your growth, and those who ain't seeing your worth and potential and hearing your goals and aspirations and choosing not to believe in you and whatnot, just start and just keep moving, man. Get moving, start thinking, start moving, and start planning. Failure to plan is planning to fail. You gotta start thinking about what you want to do when you're grown up, because motherfucker, you're already grown up. If you're grown up enough to start swiping and scrolling and then some more shit, let's say smoking and fucking cussing and all this other shit, if you could do any of this shit, if you could just walk and talk, right? It's time for you to start moving and thinking about what you want to do when you grow up, because you're already halfway there. If you could do any of the things that I just said, you need to start thinking about what you need to do and what you want to do when you grow up, because you're already there and you already have the potential to give yourself either a head start, or B, a very traumatic and hard stumble in life, maybe even a downfall after. So with that being said, let me show you guys just a little bit. I got this bad boy. Bam! Got all my stuff right there. Bam! You know, you don't need to you know, live in an apartment and pay all your money. There's a way for you to live just for yourself. You think this shit is gonna be like super uncomfortable? Hell no. The money that you be saving on rent when you live in something that you own is gonna be ridiculously well and worth it in all types of ways. You're gonna be like, man, I should have been sleeping in my car all kinds of years ago, you know. But man, with that being said, y'all, I just want to, you know, give thanks to the universe right now. I'm so thankful and grateful for absolutely everything, man. I have been staying strong for so long, and at first not really taking it all that seriously. I was being strong, but I was only being strong because I was expecting it to pay off, right? It wasn't until I stopped expecting it to pay off and I realized that through my hard work, no matter what, that shit was gonna motherfucking pay off. It sounds so crazy, but it's just true. It's literally like a light switch that you turn on in your head, and bam, you turn that shit on, and bam, you start getting rewarded for the good actions that you're doing, for being a winner. You start getting rewarded for that. Guys, money start coming to you like out of nowhere and shit. I made another video that I'll post talking about that. But you start getting expecting, it's gonna be crazy. You turning on that positivity, that manifestation, that that real optimistic fucking winning no matter what, regardless, whether I'm physically winning or not, I'm gonna still do my best to be winning. And once you do that, you start getting rewarded in all kinds of ways, even when life is still physically beating you down. Last week I was unable to work more. I was able, only because of outside problems that I got going on, I was able to work less last week. And guess what? I got paid as if I worked more. Not a joke. That shit literally happened. Not only that, but I got blessed with exactly $222 more than I was than I even, I was expecting like a bottom number, right? Just to say, anyways, I was gonna get less than 3, right? I ended up getting not only 32, but 3222. 3/222. The universe giving me a little fucking nudge that is there for me, you know what I mean? To keep going. And I just want to take this time to say thank you, dear Lord, and thank you, universe. And if I'm being completely honest, me and myself, I really need to give more of my thanks specifically to the good Lord himself, because to everybody, each his own and different, but I'm telling you what he's done for me. And seriously, he has never left my side through thick and thin, and I've never ever truly felt alone, other than when I trusted humans. But whenever I didn't have anybody, I always had God. And even when I had everybody around me, good, bad, or ugly, I always still had God. And so for me personally, dear Lord, thank you first and foremost, and thank you for creating this such wonderful, beautiful universe for us. And for those who may not be a believer, in the man himself like I am, you at least got to give credit to this universe, because what a beautiful day and age we live in. I almost want to get choked up a little bit, like I feel a little emotional, waking up and realizing that no matter what, life is gonna turn out okay, because I don't even know how I'm gonna be a millionaire yet, but I know I'm gonna be a millionaire because no matter what I do, I'm gonna do it obsessively, and I'm gonna work hard, and I'm gonna double up, and I'm gonna keep doubling up. You know what I mean? And I'm cutting off all the toxicity and the mindsets that was within me and holding me back. Guys, it's so embarrassing to say that I used to, say the most stupidest shit. Forgive me. Like, I wish I grew up in a white family, and I wish because I wanted a dad, and I wanted a mom, and I wanted, siblings, and I didn't grow up with none of that shit. And so, plus me growing up with, let's face it, I wasn't even that much of a minority, but just still growing up more minority than anything, plus uneducated, ignorant, arrogant, angry at the world, all these negative qualities that I was, and I grew up with a victim mindset, as if we were purposely suppressed. Now the thing is, we kind of are, right? But it's not really, it's like them programming us, right? But we're the ones doing the real suppressing to ourselves. I know it sounds funny, but they're programming us, or I don't know, I'm not going to say there or this or what, but there's programs out there, just things that naturally draw us and program us to be a more negative, naturally less hardworking, characteristics. And the thing is, the mind, it's easier naturally to navigate towards the easier, right? But what comes with the easier is no good reward at all. As a matter of fact, taking the easier way out almost always going to make sure that it leaves you with a consequence, i.e., not doing things right the first time, you're gonna have to come back around and do it again. So you might as well do it right the first time. That right there, is just literally a big problem these days. Nobody's doing things with heart. Nobody's doing things with urgency. Nobody's taking things seriously because they're so worried about their problems, not knowing that everybody's going through the same crazy shit that they're going through. It's just, when are we gonna wake up and stop crying about it and blaming the whole fucking world? Yeah, and your mom and dad, and they fucking hurt you. And maybe they never said sorry. Fuck it, so what? And just know that they're too stupid to apologize, and they really don't think that they did anything wrong. That's literally what's going on inside their motherfucking head, okay? But at the end of the day, you gotta thank these motherfuckers that you're alive, because you have an opportunity to be the most successful person in your motherfucking bloodline, fam. This is not a game or a joke. This is the most real life shit, but, literally, how can I say this shit? We have energy in us. Literally energy. They hook us up to the scan. There's literally electricity flowing through our nervous system, powering us, going through everything, giving us and delivering our senses, and our senses within us communicate to the universe. Our vibrations, vocals, energy, our demeanor, the character that we're displaying, the energy that we're giving off, right? Or the lack of. All of these, everything, no matter what you're doing, you are, whether you know it or not, communicating with the universe. And you need to, first and foremost, work on these things. Waking up and being open to possibilities. If you are the type of motherfucker that's like, that's just not possible, best of luck to you. God bless you. I was that motherfucker for 10 years. I'm telling you. Now, I wasn't consistently that negative motherfucker that, but I was so angry and hurt and distracted and tired and hurt of everything that, I was going through in my life, that I felt like such a victim. But I would still be strong, and I would put on a good mask, and I would still work hard. But what happened was I would buckle and I wouldn't last, because really my strength was limited, because my opportunities were limited, because my mindset was limited. I didn't believe in myself. Also, I was going through some other things that actually were keeping me limited at the time, right? So I really was limited in some ways. But, the mindset could have been better, and I could have done better had my mindset been better. Open to possibilities, which at the time I was just slaving it, mentally, physically, and otherwise. Alongside with that, I was blaming everything else around me. And now, like I said, sometimes we're born into certain situations, and you're born into families with folks and parents that don't spend no time with you or teach you, or they do the absolute bare minimum. And maybe it's because they think that they're providing some type of housing for you, or because they feed you or they cook for you, or something that you don't have these other needs, or that you can just grow up and be okay or figure it out on your own. That's some of the things that's going on in the last few 20 years or so. I'm 28 now, so over, and it's just getting worse and worse. And how we change this individually is within our own families. And it all starts by opening up our fucking eyes and recognizing what the problem really is, and then stop pointing fingers elsewhere and realizing where our part in all this bullshit is, and saying, I gotta get my shit together so that I could show everybody around me how to also get their shit together, because this shit ain't it. And yeah, man, like seriously, you just gotta you gotta do a lot, if I'm being honest with you. It was only when I wanted to change, just a little bit. I just wanted to change a little bit, or I just wanted to change this, or I just wanted to change that. It don't work like that. you can't be good in some areas and bad in some areas. You got to be like 99.9% good, or at least 90% good. And the things that you should be struggling with, if any, is like, you know, love, maybe some vices, you know, things. But even, you know, vices should never be holding you back. You know, things, you know, just things. If I'm not, and the reason why I'm just gonna say this, because there's actually some influencers that, you know, will get you to try to use like certain stimulants like Adderall, even meth, right? And those things will give you like a hyper focus, right? But those things carry consequences. And I don't want to go into it too much, but those things will really rob you of your natural energy. And so, fuck, you know, and it sucks. I'll throw out my vice right there, weed. Sorry, you know, it sucks. Me, I'm different, you know. I don't really struggle much with energy. I struggle with motivation or lack of, and feeling better about myself, or escaping reality. You know, a lot of it, you know, being able to get over certain things of life, or even being able to just smoke some weed and forget about some of my problems that are heavy on my mind right now, you know. And so yeah, I me myself, you know, I struggle with weed, but I mean, who knows? Let's see where this shit goes, you know, because at the end of the day, as long as you're doing more good than bad, you know, everybody got problems and everybody's going through something and all that other shit. Tried it, done it, you know what I mean? So I'm not like saying, oh, you know, weed is the best thing, and if you're doing anything else, no. Everything is bad for us, my friends. Everything is bad for us, and everything is addictive. And you know, we just got to make sure that we actually, you know, that we aren't standing on the scale tipping it, but that we are the motherfucking scale, and that we're balancing it, right? Because you got to show people around you how to balance. If you got kids, you got to show your kids how to balance everything. I know, man, it's a lot. It really is, but we got to start somewhere. So, with that being said, God bless you guys. I hope I didn't go too far off on some tangents, and I hope that the information that you heard in this video allows you to see your fullest potential within, because I'm telling you, fam, right here, right now, I believe in you, and there's something that you can offer this world in some way, shape, or form, whether it's businesses, services, ideas, you know, it's not just, you got something to offer, and you know it. So with that being said, let's wake up together, fam, and let's start reaching our goals, okay? All right, peace.